So, if you're with me when we're doing this live, welcome back. And if you're, I did quite a few of them all in one day, so that's why I'm saying welcome back. Otherwise, welcome. It is one of my favorite videos to do in the year, and that is the flip through video for my current book. So much fun when I get to do this day. So I'm just going to give the ladies who are joining me, Tammy's back, awesome, a minute or two to catch up. I gave everybody like an extra 2 minutes because I figured everybody could needed a little restroom break, or could maybe use a restroom break as well too. So Tammy's back. She's made it back. So far, Tammy, I think you're the only one. So did you go get a cocktail or a beverage? Although I think it's really early for you. Do I remember that? I'm going to have a little drink, actually, because I haven't. And I do not have my champagne flutes. That would have taken me more time because I'd have to go into a, they're stored in my buffet, and I didn't feel like having to get the key out and all that kind of fun stuff. Moira's back with her martini, and Chopin is in your lap. Wonderful. Which may make it a little quiet. Yeah, and Lucy was just, when I was in the kitchen pouring my Prosecco, Lucy was there, and she cried at me just a little bit, so I fed her a little treat. Hopefully she'll behave with that now that she's got that treat. But I thought about that before, because I think on the very first video she was crying a little bit, but she was a little bit farther away, so I'm not sure that anybody heard her. So it's 1 o'clock, and yes, you're drinking. Awesome, Tammy. Hey, this is a celebratory cocktail, right? And for some of us, it's our last day of vacation. If nothing else, people are just going back. So I highly encourage this. So I think let's get started, and we'll let people join us. And so first of all, a toast to all of you. Thanks again for following me, whether you're here with me now watching the live stream, or you come back and look at this later. Just, again, thanks so much for your support, your kindness, all of that. And what a great Christmas season it was. So thanks you guys. So a little sip for everybody. I'm going to put that up there so everybody knows it's okay to have a cocktail. And if you know me at all, you know it's okay to have a cocktail. I'm thinking anytime afternoon if you're with friends, and we're all friends, right? Just because we can't be sitting in the same room right now. Actually, lots of us can't be sitting in the same room anyway. Yeah, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. And I think we've talked about this before, you guys. If it's not 5 o'clock where I am, I use the home country rule. And cheers. Very good. The home country rule. And I am Mexican, which happens to be the same time zone. But I'm also German and Irish. So I usually use the home country rule in either Ireland or Germany, which would now make it 5 o'clock. So use that if you need to. And you really don't need to, because you're just having a cocktail with friends. So December Daily. Simple cover this time, just a little doily. This cork is from Ellie's Studio for 2021. I saw somebody said this in one of the, I think it was yesterday or the day before, to use some Mod Podge to stabilize this. So I'm going to try to do that. And yes, Jennifer, it is still a holiday weekend. And it's not even technically. It is still the holiday weekend, right? So I think I'm going to try to come back and do that now that the book is done. And I got Mod Podge to see if that will stabilize it a little bit more. Because it broke. You can't really see it unless you're looking close. But this end of this too broke. So we're going to do that. I'll do that at some point. The doilies, by the way, you guys, look in, sometimes they can be kind of expensive from scrapbook companies. So if you're just looking for white, go to the cake section in your big box stores, like Michael's and whatever craft stores you guys might have. And they do sell doilies there too. So, yep, Janet, last day of the Christmas holiday for me. So that's a little hint on doilies. This is a Wilton doily, actually, because and they're nice and thick too. This little banner came from the die cuts in the photo play Not a Creature Was Stirring, which is my main Christmas. That's a main 12 by 12 scrapbooking that I'm going to do my 12 by 12 layouts with, is that. So And then this book is Echo Park. That's where I got this one from. And it is the thicker spine, but your girlfriend here can't control herself, and there's a lot of layouts. I think I saw Jennifer, you posted earlier today on one of the scrapbooking chat groups that you went, and I can never tell because I'm on so many of them, I'd have to really think. That you posted that you had to go to a second book, and there is nothing wrong with that if that's what you want to do, right? Okay, so open it up, and this is how it goes. So first day, I have started this tradition. I didn't mean to do this, but the last few years, I've always used a card, 4x6 card, as part of my first layout that says Hello December. Just because I start mine now, pretty much I start mine with the first day of December, and I go through the first day of January. I have done them starting with the day after Thanksgiving. This year I did have 2 Christmas themed things. I did one even, I think we even went like a week and a half or so before Thanksgiving, and then the other one was a day after Christmas that's not in this book. So I think so I'm gonna have to do those as separate scrapbooking layouts, which is fine with me. So Jennifer said yes, she did. She likes the extra room. Yeah, especially for Christmas, even Christmas Day. Correct. Because boy, oh boy. And the photos that I have of like, well, it's not Christmas, but present opening with my great nephew and great niece. Because I opened presents with my grandkids, but it was kind of unexpected, long story. But lots of sickness in their house. So I didn't get a chance to take pictures because my phone was in the car, and I just thought, well, I guess this year it's going to have to live in my memory, right? So then I'm using stickers from some of my Ellie Studio collections. You're going to see these 3x4 cards appear a lot. This is what I was saying about if I don't use these, they go right back in my regular stash. This came from my regular stash because I have, you just pick out your greens or whatever, reds, blues, whatever works with whatever you're using, pink. And then this is and now I'm not going to remember. Let me see if I can look and see and find who this, Shadney, who is on Etsy. It's a book from Shadney. And I forgot to talk about this. I did put, and I always do use these little metal label things. And I usually just put the number inside there somehow. So that's what I did. And I made it match this. I think if I ever do this again, I would use twine or something like that. But I had this paper ribbon on, and that's what I used. That's just the way it went. I might actually pull these apart now, cut this and pull these apart, and then just knot them. We'll see. I'm not sure what I'm going to do there, but I'm thinking I might. And I did, someone suggested using my crocodile to punch the hole there, and that worked brilliantly. So if you want to do this, just if you have a crocodile, do the hole there, and it was no big deal at all. Okay, so back to the 1st of December, we kind of saw that. This this 3-up, so 2 3x4s and 1 4x6, and then the 4 4x4s, 4 3x4s were definitely my favorite page protectors this year, and I think have been from the last kind of so let me finish my thought and then I'll respond to Jennifer's comment. So those have been my favorites for the last couple of years, and I think probably will continue to be. Jennifer just said that Shadney's, she's on Shadney's design team, which, oh my, that sounds like fun. And her shop is marked on vacation for the next couple of days because her household was struck with COVID. So she's being really cautious and she's not shipping right now. So and it's Shadnee. So you can still go in, even though it's on vacation. I'm pretty sure you can, still favorite her shop so that you can come back to it, because she makes awesome wood veneers. They're thick. They're so detailed. You can see how detailed these are. These are also some of hers as well too. This is like a makeup one that I got because my granddaughter's really into that kind of thing right now. So they're so beautiful detailed because they're cut and then I think they're wood burned too, or somehow they're wood etched. So very cool. This is a sticker from this year's kit. By the way, if you want to see, I don't know if they still have December daily kits available at Ellie Studio or not, or December documented, sorry, at Ellie's studio. Yeah, she does have a sense of humor. But you can go into my original share of the kit, which is the very first video in 2021, and then figure out what I'm using from the kit or not. And, you know, if you want to buy some things that they still might have available. The other thing that I should remind you guys of is there's always a playlist for the year. From 2016 on, I have playlists for every year that I have done this, so you can go back in and take a look for ideas. So, or if you're really bored. Anyway, so day 2 is just, you know, 2 cards here. And December daily for me is not always about the Christmas activities. These were Christmas books that I intended to read this year. And I actually added some. I'm actually still finishing one of these. I read some other Christmas books, and some of those went back, but whatever. It is what it is. Anyway, sometimes it's Christmas themed, sometimes it's not. And in this case, it's not. This is just one of those days where I had a lot of things to do. So I had a pedicure. I had a date night with my boyfriend, and we're watching Longmire and taking a lot of time to do it. So I just scrapbooked some everyday stuff in there, added a whole bunch of stuff, little cards, some stickers. So I'm layering even without using a lot of paper layers, because that's just sort of what I do, right? That's kind of my style. Then the next day was, yeah, you guys can see this even though it's really thick. I decided to use the 2 4x4s because I went out to dinner with 2 really close friends. It's an annual Christmas dinner that we usually do, except for last year, or not last year, 2 years ago. That would be 2020. I ended up using 4x4s because I forgot to take photos of anything I was eating. So I pulled off 2 photos from their website of things that I ate, and then just printed them. So that's such a, you know, that's an easy thing to do as well, and more layering. And then what I did here is I used some old Pebbles tags. So in my mind, then I thought, okay, this is not in with my regular Ellie Studio supplies. I'm going to need to come back and use some of those tags again. So I do that later on. So that's one of those things that was kind of in my mind. Sometimes I'll put notes on the inside cover of my book as well, or when I don't have them anymore, but if I have a back, I use the 6x8 pages sometimes to store stuff in, and that's actually where I kept my layout ideas this year. So here's the back side of that, using this 2x8 strip here just for paper in this particular case, and there's where my journaling was, and I'm using 3x4 cards here, but just on the 4x4 piece of paper. So then here is December 4th was a day where my boyfriend and I really started some big Christmas activities here. We went up to a really cute little town not too far from us, so I could see this really fun Christmas display from my childhood, which is like, I don't know, 50 years ago, seriously. Anyway, so I documented that. A store, this is the one store I do like to go in, as per our conversation a little earlier today about not liking malls, but this is such a cool store. Lots of fun stuff. And then I used some of the Christmas cookie pieces from last year's Ellie Studio sticker sheets, but I think they had them this year. So you're starting to see my enamel dots come in. And I think I forgot to say little puffy hearts, stars, hearts, that kind of stuff from the kit. So I'll remember next year if they do navy. I'm getting 2 of those sheets just because I'm going to need the navy, right? Then that continued because we went on and it continued to the back side, because we went on further and we saw a light display. I took him out to dinner for his birthday, which was on Thanksgiving, but he was visiting one of his siblings out of town on his birthday. And a good thing he did, because he didn't get to see her at Christmas. So we're documenting that. And then it's coming over to this side where we're doing the light displays, and I'm adding in another card here. My journaling is about everything is right here, but adding in just a fun filler card more stars, and more of these phrase stickers. So I actually used those quite a bit. I didn't use as much of these little labels, as many of these little label stickers as I thought I would. That I thought was really interesting, but you know, that's just the way it goes some years, right? Then this is December 5th. So on December 5th, I used another filler card. I wanted it to feel wintry because we got a little bit of snow here. It was our first snow we had seen of any accumulation at all. There had been flakes in the air before. And this is nothing. We had 3 inches of snow last night, which is not a big snowstorm here at all, but at least now the ground is covered and you can't see the grass. Here you could still see the grass. So I used some snowflakes, some acrylic snowflakes from Color Cast Design from last year, just some sequins, and these frames, these Polaroid frames, I very rarely put a picture in because I print most of my pictures at the actual size. So it will oftentimes use it for journaling on the inside, which is what I originally planned, but then I started putting on these acrylic snowflakes and just used it to house an embellishment. So then I didn't love how this page and this page looked sitting next to each other. So I grabbed a transparency, and I don't remember off the top of my head who this is from, but I do tell you in that video when I do this either on the 5th or the 6th. I think I did this one on the 6th. But I just added that. I almost always do back-to-back doilies on these if I'm going to do that, because I like matching up front to back. I don't like seeing the back of things when it's in the middle of the book like this. If this was on a layout, I wouldn't care so much because I wouldn't be able to see the back. But I added in a snow globe from Ellie Studio from last year or the year before, and then a sticker from, like, I don't remember who this was from, American Crafts or something. And then I had a lot of miscellaneous sticker sheets, and I used them to, quote, seal my Christmas card envelopes, just to get rid of the ones that had been hanging around for years, and then regretted it because I didn't have a lot of this kind of stuff then to put in the book later after my cards were mailed. So that was a good thing for me to remember, because Ellie Studio, the die cuts and that kind of stuff are lovely, but they don't have little detailed things like this, and sometimes I like that. So that's just an observation that I made about my style and how I like to scrapbook. So I'll be doing that again. Anyway, so then December 6th is the first day where we get kind of interactive. I needed some more space to journal here because I have these 2 photos. This is inside my scrapbook room. I have a nativity of my grandmother's and great-grandmother's pieces. And so I wanted to document where that was. And I just loved coming in here and looking at this little spot. And it's where my December daily sat when I went working in it. It just made my heart so happy to see this. So I'm adding in some die cuts and some more puffies here. And then the flip up here, I did just a filler card, a 4x6 filler card, and I made the flip up using washi tape. And I do this a couple of different times during the process here. There is another way that I have done this, and you'll see this later in the book, and we can talk about it then. And then again here, I just used a piece of the heart paper here and then put the 3x4 card on it. This time I made my washi tape visible. I don't always do that, but this one I just wanted it to be visible. So you can make it visible or not, as the case may be. And it was, in this case, it's visible in the middle. I didn't make it visible on the top, but you can do that as well. I've done that too, or sometimes I put it over the top. I don't remember if I did that or not this year. So that's December 6th. December 7th was a day that I had my lights up, but I hadn't taken any photos of it yet. So that's what I did here. And I love this stripe paper. I wish they would put like 4 sheets of this. When you get I pull layout colors together by using whatever the multicolored paper is. So whether it's a dot or a heart or a stripe like this, usually dots and stripes are what they are. And they're great to have when you're layering in regular book pages, but also to help pull your book together when you're doing this kind of a thing, because now this is all the colors in the book that I'm using. So that's that. And again, using some more of these labels, and here's some of the chipboard that's starting to appear from the Ellie Studio Christmas collection this year, and some of the labels again. December 8th was a photo of a Christmas tree, and this sits in, I have a little, it's a treadmill, so it's not that little. I have a treadmill in a small room and a Christmas tree there, and then my nativity also sat there this year. And so I liked this because I took it from the doorway and it was just like a little peek into that room. So it's just kind of a fun thing. I've done that before, just not getting the whole tree. I have a hard time getting good pictures of any of my trees because they're not sitting in a window or a corner by themselves. I live in an apartment. There's not a ton of room anywhere. Well, there's a ton of room, but I have a ton of stuff. So just this kind of thing is really nice for just seeing it, but not having the whole thing show. And I can tell by looking at the ornaments on here that it's what I call my grandkids tree, because it has things like games and characters on it and that kind of stuff. And then here's an example of where I used one of those frames to journal on. So here I combined, I thought it was time for some wood veneer, so I added some wood veneer in here, but also some of the, these are stars from the Altenew, one of the blue collections here, and a puffy 8 there. So I did use a lot of these labels, but I also brought in this kind of thing, and then I have another little date label too. I don't always use the same date one, so that is what it is. This one, just because I had a full page here, but I had 2 photos here that I wanted to feature, but they weren't related to each other. I just made this filler. So I went to a holiday party back before things got kind of ugly with COVID, the COVID resurgence in Wisconsin again. And so I just added this. I created a doily. This is a little bag that I had, and I just cut the top off and then added a printable card that I printed years ago, and then added the little cocktail glasses, which match the cocktail glasses here. And then this actually is open, so I could have, if I'd had any more photos that I wanted to use, I could have tucked photos in here, surprise, that kind of stuff. And I almost did it, but I realized I was doing it in the wrong bag. So that's why this sticker's up there. But I also like that because it brings in the blue from this one. So this is my first shaker pocket of the season, and I just popped it in this extra 3x4. I like doing shakers. I do have a fuse tool, which makes them easy to do, but you can sew them or washi tape them closed. I did that before I had the fuse tool. So here's a little story of that party, and these 2 friends actually introduced my boyfriend and I, so that's kind of fun. And then this one is a picture of an early Christmas present that my boyfriend gave me. It's a stack of books. I'd been looking for one, and he heard me talk about it, so he ordered it and then decided to give it to me because he knows me well enough to know I was going to buy it myself. So he gave it to me on December 9th, and it's on my tree, and I love it. And books this year, I always get one ornament to kind of signify what was happening that year, like something significant. So I read 126 books this year. So that's why that's significant. And again, just more of these 3x4 cards here, and just adding the little sticker and this little chipboard element on the outside. This mix, by the way, started out with an Ellie Studio mix, and then I added some of my own sequins, which reminds me, I need to remember, and I'm gonna, as I'm talking to you, I'm gonna write this down. I need to get some red sequins because I am totally out of them, and I like to use those not just for holidays, but not just for Christmas, but also 4th of July and just other things. They're kind of a nice little thing. So totally out of red. As many sequins as I have a whole tray full, a whole like plastic screw container full of sequins, but no red. Okay, so that's this, and you're seeing my 4x4. Then the back side of this is just some of the Christmas decor that I have around, and it's important because I love the word joy. Joy and grace are my 2 favorite words in the English language. Joy was my one little word for, I think, 2016, and ever since then I love it. I have a necklace with the word on it. Just love it. And then I had this little 3x4 card that says Joy the World, but that's where the journaling is for this page. And just using some labels just as a foundation place. Okay, thank you, Jennifer. Jennifer said to check out Cartwright Sequins. I think, you know what? I think I've heard of them before, now that you mention that, but I will. So thank you. So anyway, just so highlighting, I have the Joy rug, which is brand new, and then these 2 Joy signs. And I also have another little one that I had in my bedroom that I forgot to take a picture of, but that's fine because otherwise I wouldn't have had room for that fun sequin pocket. So then this is the journaling for that card. And it, day 10 here, day 10 here. I know I always journal, so I'm going to be looking for it. Day 11 was a date night that I had with my boyfriend, and I saved the takeout menu that we used for that day. Now, right now, I've been talking a lot, you guys. Hold on a second. I also have water if this gets really bad. Anyway, I saved the takeout menu. Right now, this is standing up. I might end up having to fold this over when I put it in my calyx. Probably not, but sometimes I just do that to protect it, so I would fold it over this way. I'm okay with that. It's it's a menu. It's not anything crazy. And the label is here on this one. And I've glued, I was having problems with getting these little puffies to stick this year, so I use my ATG on these a lot. And then this, here's the photo of part of our takeout, not all of it. My fried rice is here. Here's the journaling, a filler card here, just adding some more hearts in, and then bringing in some of the wood veneer that I have had from years past. I didn't do any wood this year. I don't even remember if they offered any or not, but that is, I wanted to start bringing some of that in. Then day 12 is all about my love for Hallmark movies. And I just realized I never checked these all off. So as I'm talking to you, I will bring that out and do that. So that, this little countdown to Christmas holiday movies is something that I got from, I believe, their app. I have their Hallmark's app, and they had this up. Either that or I saw it on Facebook. I can't remember. And I just screenshot it and then printed it, and then added some holly from one of my sticker, I think it was from it was from the Not a Creature Was Stirring sticker book there. And then a couple of enamel dots to work in the blue. This Hallmark Movie Lover acrylic is from Color Cast Designs from last year, so you can't get that right now. Sticker from Ellie Studio. This is another sticker, and so is this from the Not a Creature Was Stirring collection. And so are both of these. And this, I think, is my favorite card in my whole book, just because I just kept playing with it. And I think, Jennifer, you were kind of laughing with that when I did this layout. I kind of remember that it just turned out really, really cute. And it's so cute that it's Santa and Mrs. Claus, since it's the Hallmark Movie Lover thing, and it just worked, and it was just really cute. So then, besides, showing my love for Hallmark movies and talking about that, I did one of the currently cards and worked that in, because there's always one of those in every Christmas. Yeah, thanks, Jennifer. There's always one in every Ellie Studio Christmas collections, and I don't always use them. So it was a nice way to work this in. This is one of those things that if you did one of these currently cards, you could just pop it into the middle between layouts, kind of like where I did with that Joy to the World journaling, right? This. You just pop a hole in it and then put it in the middle. Just, this is where you're going. So just, it's interactive, and I like those elements that are a little bit more interactive and a little bit different. Speaking of different, I popped these two pieces up and this up. I rarely do that in my December daily because I have more than enough bulk in it. I don't need to be adding it, but in this particular case, I did it, and I think it's really cute. And I think I did it because this is so thick. So that's why I did it. This is a piece from Ellie Studio, that background card there. All right, then this day was the day that my Christmas cards got mailed. So this is my Christmas card from this year. In this particular case, sometimes, and actually that still wouldn't be very easy. Sometimes I'll put the card, like just punch the holes here so you can flip back and forth. This particular time, I loved this background with the card. It was so perfect for it. And this is from either the Basics or the Fa La La collection. I think this is the Fa La La collection from a couple of years ago from Ellie Studio. But I put it on there and then just started adding some stickers. Otherwise, I could have slit. The other thing is you can take your craft knife and just slit along the card here very carefully. And then this flap will peel back, so you can just open it, but the card is still protected if that's anything you're worried about. And I almost always sign my cards just like I did for everybody else. Like at whatever phrase I've used that year, because I tend to use the same phrase I used on the inside of this card. And here, a couple of acrylics made their debut here, and I just use them as the acrylic. And I think that's almost the last time I used them. So I do need to use more of those. I did use them a couple other places in the book where I put them on white paper and then cut around them. We've talked about this before. When you use pattern paper, it's tough to use acrylics, but so that's what this is about. My photos here, I almost always take some version of this photo where I take the pictures of the cards. And fortunately, you can't read that very well, but my Christmas tree and my dining room table are right here. And then here's me putting them in the mailbox. And again, I loved these label dates this year. Next next story on day 14 is really about just some little decor pieces in my dining room. So this is a little tiny Santa collection I have. They're small. They're only maybe that high, to give you an idea of what that is. So I just documented that where it was this year. I've documented the collection before, but it was just kind of fun because it's in a new spot. And then what my dining room table looked like this year. I used just a little Santa hot chocolate mug sticker, and that is from Michael's. This is the other date label things that I used. It's some date stickers from an alpha from Ellie's studio, I think last year or the year before. And then I'd wanted to use some vellum, and I have this kind of candy cane vellum, but obviously I had a photo on the other side, so I couldn't just use it. So I just put it on white. I put a piece of white cardstock behind that and then just did some layering. This is another sticker from the Not a Creature Was Stirring collection, but the rest of this is all Ellie's studio. Most of this one's from this year. This is an older one, I think from the 2 years ago, last year, 2 years ago. The next one, next day, day 15, is one of my favorites just because of what the photo's about. And I think it's ironic that I ended up doing it on the day 15. I didn't set out to do this, but I did in the end. This is a picture of all my December dailies because this was the 15th year I've done them. So my first December daily is this one, I think. Yeah. And all homemade with stickers. I've progressed a little bit since then. This is a book. These two are chipboard albums that I used, that I actually made this is a chipboard album that I made. These two were chipboard albums that I had to cover with paper. And then there's one back here that I took a regular binder in a year that was, finances were a little tighter. And I made my own with a binder and just used paper. So it's kind of fun to see those all lined up. And again, using some chipboard, more of the puffies, the label stickers from this year's Ellie Studio collections, more of the phrase stickers, and then the 3x4 card here. And I think this is an older 3x4 card. I just keep them from year to year and use them. Day 16 was a little not little light show. It was a big light show that my boyfriend and I went to. So I took a picture of a light tunnel that you went through and the two of us in front of this tree, and then used that favorite stripe paper. One of the banners, yay me. I used both banners, so that's cool because there were two of those like light string banners that I used. And then because these are so dark here, I'll just point this out. I used black and black here. So then this is a bag. I got these bags years ago. They're from Pebbles. And what's in here are the extra photos from this light show. And then on the back side is my Christmas list that I keep on my iPad. And then I print it every year. Moira, I'll answer that question for you in just a second. So I print what I've gotten everybody and then how much it was and then the total on it every year. Sometimes I put it out in front. Sometimes I hide it. This year I just tucked it in here because I forgot to do it until the very end, so that worked. So to answer your question, Moira asked if I've done flip-throughs of my albums prior to making videos. I've done them, but I think not all of them. So I did notice that when I was going through there, so I really need to go through and do a flip-through, do separate flip-throughs of all of them. So that might be a project this year, you know, just going through and getting them done. And I think definitely everything from 2016, and there are quite a few other ones in there that I've done them. I don't know that I've done them of my oldest albums, so that might be really interesting to, you know, just see, like, to see that first album. It's very different than how I scrapbook now. But yeah, I'll have to do that. As a matter of fact, if I have a minute at the end and I still have a voice left when we're done, I'll maybe go get that first one because I know where it is. It's really accessible. So then the next day was all about wrapping, which is why my Christmas list then, I just turned it, is accessible this way and in this page. And what I did is, here's my, this is the bag, and the back side and front side are the same, but because I was doing this about wrapping, and I always like to include a piece of the wrapping paper, sometimes I make it as a background for a design or a place to put the journaling. In this particular case, I really like the way this journaling card looked and this filler card looked. So I just put it on, glued it to the back of this envelope, and then I just cut out around it so that this is consistent. It's not the stripe that this is what it would have been if I hadn't done that. So I actually kind of like the way that looks. And then I had a little fun, like there was a chipboard present, so I just used this to go over one of the printed ones here. So just the gifts. So gifts here, and then this is Sassy Lucy. She was checking out the gifts as I was trying to take a picture. As a matter of fact, I think I got in really close here because she was kind of, you could still see her. So, and then a little bit more, there was something up here, I think, on this card, but I used a little word sticker and a label and a present die cut from the pack, just to kind of add in a little bit of layering there. And oh yeah, and this, remember where I said I needed to think about using some of those tags that I used in that one, I think it was day number 2. Here's another one of those tags. So, and I made sense to use one of these because I used them on top of the presents. Plus it gets this back into the book again. So there's not just, I don't like to do something just once. Like I think I only used the 2 4x4 page protectors once, where it's got the 2 4x4 pictures and then the 2x8 little slot. I think I only used it one other time or maybe 2 other times, but I will always use it again just because I don't want it to be just one thing. So then the next layout is all about a hike and a luminary hike and nativity that we went to see. So that was really cool to do, and it's documented in lots and lots of photos. They gave us a card with a map on it that I used, and then LA Studio doesn't have any nativity themed things here, but I have a nativity collection from Bella Boulevard or Illustrated Faith. I don't remember. It's one of the two. So I was using pieces from that collection. And then these are actually this A King is Born, and there's a couple other ones. LA Studio did do one more like faith-based Christmas sticker sheet a couple of years ago. So that came from that. I added, just because the back of the card wasn't very pretty, so I added a piece of this wood grain paper that I'm in love with. I think Jennifer said she loves it too. And then added some pieces from that Illustrated Faith again, and then some puffies and a chipboard from LA Studio. Jennifer said she's using that paper right now, which is so funny. See, I knew you loved that paper. This whole thing right here is all part of the same story, as is, it's not this back page. Okay, so these 2 pages right here and this are all part of the same story, but I still needed more space. So this is the other way I increased my space without adding in another page protector. These are the Simple Stories flip ups. And these are for 4x6 photos. They also make them for 3x4, and they make them for 4x4 as well. And they are available, I know, on Terry on Top and scrapbook.com if you need them. but I only had 4x6 left. I, however, have them in my shopping cart in both places, so the next time I do an order, I order some more. So I don't forget until, because I'll forget that I need them by next year. So anyway, so I added 2 flip ups just right on top of each other on top of the photo here. Normally, actually, I'm sorry, never mind. I was going to say something that's not true. and not intentionally anyway. So then I was just adding in pieces from that sticker sheet and from also from the Bella Boulevard collection to kind of pull in. And I ended up adding 1 sticker on each photograph here, which is awesome. And then just a journaling card to talk about it and how beautiful it was. And this says favorite Christmas moment. I really do think that one and a light show that we did on Christmas Eve are definitely 2 of my more memorable moments. So, thanks, Debbie. That's awesome. Thanks. And if you can always catch this on replay. So if you can't stay for the whole thing. The next day, and I'm actually going to grab some water here quickly. I've been talking for a couple of hours now. So, was cookie baking day for me. So I grabbed a recipe card that was included with this year's kit. And then some of the, thanks, Debbie, some of the stickers from Ella Studio cookie baking stickers that were from last year, but they did again this year. And then this is a piece from die cut pack. I don't remember which die cut pack that's from, but anyway, that and a little candy cane sticker, the date here. And then this is something that I just did yesterday. I think I came in and did some housekeeping. This is a Christmas playlist, so the music I've been listening to this holiday. So I wrote down my 8, one of them's an album, but the other are all songs. And then just did a little bit of layering and fun on the back of this with, these are from the Pink Fresh Studio Let's Stay Home collection. I was right about that. These 2 pieces. That holiday playlist, I think, was from, trying to think. I don't think it's Shani. I think it was from Colorcast last year. It was the last piece in there. So I wanted to make sure I got that all in, and then a piece of chipboard from this year, and then some all new hearts. And that's just, I just stuck it in the book because it didn't have to have a place. I didn't want to do a whole layout about it, but I wanted to document the music I was listening to. And the reason it went here is because this day was like, it was all Christmas music all the time after that. I had been listening to it before, but it really was a lot of Christmas music then. So kind of fun that that's in there. Then next is my other 4x4 for sure. And I did another pocket. And in this case, because the pocket is so long, I used my fuse tool and actually divided it in half so that it doesn't just all fall to the bottom and there's nothing on top. I actually thought about doing this in 4s as well, which is something you could do. And then again, this is kind of, I put in, there's wood veneers, there's gold stars in here. I didn't want to use a lot of gold in here. Sometimes I'll do that, but this year I didn't. It's just that it was mixed into the very first mix, so I had to put it in here as well. I didn't do a lot of metal in this one. It's just what I wanted to do this year. This was fun. They had an add to cart card this year in the Ellie Studio kit, so I added that in, but I just used it for documenting, but you could use it for what it was and what it cost, which would be kind of fun. Or what, I didn't even think of this until now, but it would have been fun to take a copy of my grocery list or receipt, and then I could have tucked it in here to look at that in, in 10 years. It might be really interesting to see, and especially because our prices were up a little bit right now, but that would be interesting. And then just some more wood veneer here to use some more in. This was an accident that this happened, but I like that it did. I think I was looking at this wood here, and so I used the wood veneer here to kind of correlate there. So then the next one, the day 21 here, you get the back side of that sequin pocket, which I love when you can see through to the one before. And this time I was just documenting a evergreen swag that is actually still on my door. They last forever. That one of my clients, who is also a dear friend of mine, made me, and I wanted to make sure I got it documented. There is a pine cone like gift tag on here that she made. So when I'm done with this, I'll pull off the ribbon and tuck it in my December daily supplies, and then I'll put the pine cone in with my client gift list that I made or will make. I haven't documented all of those yet. I have yet to do that. Because I'm guessing I'm going to have a few more gifts when I go back. I have 2 clients for sure that I know they've been clients of mine for 10 years, and they've done something every year, and I'll see them next week. So I'm guessing, I'm not going to document everything until I'm done, I guess is it. But I do need to get to work on my thank you notes. The other thing is I have this little piece in here that is it's a 4x6 card. It almost looks like 2 3x4s, but it wasn't a Christmas card. It was from a collection for medical stuff that Ellie Studio did for like when you're sick or you've broken an arm and stuff like that. And this is important because it's not, I didn't want it to go in this day's story, but it happened on this day. So this is the day that we found out that my boyfriend had been exposed to COVID and he had to start quarantining. He's vaccinated, but he chose to start quarantining so he didn't like infect me, so that I didn't infect clients, and his mother's elderly. So, he was doing that kind of stuff to be nice. So a little bit of washi tape here. And then on the back of it, I just put a piece of pattern paper, wrote down, we are counting down the days. And I wrote number 5 here because 3 to 5 is usually when you develop symptoms. And 5 is the day that usually a test would come back positive for sure if it was going to. So that's what the significance of that is. So I just kind of like that. That's the done. And this, I needed to document it because it was a big part of this year's story. We couldn't spend Christmas Eve and Christmas Day together because of this. So, anyway, so that's in there. My next day, day 22, is one of my beloved 4x4s, and I documented 2 new mugs that I received. Or actually, this one I bought myself. This one was a present. Client made that for me, which is so cute with the buffalo check on it. And then this is just a filler card here, so I could use another filler card. Sometimes I will very specifically pick a 4x4 or a 3x4 when I don't have enough pictures, so I can get in some of those filler cards. This is an older card too. And then this on this day in December is, they've made packs of these. So I had them in red and green. And so I pulled a green one, just a little chipboard here and a little chipboard there, 2 phrase stickers and some heart enamel dots. And that page was done. So pretty simple. Backside of this was another one of those days. This is the 23rd here. Another one of those days where I ran lots of errands. So I got a photo of myself in my Christmas mask as I was going into Starbucks, actually. Got myself a Starbucks drink. I had done my Christmas nails at this point, so you can kind of see that. I think I don't have it on this picture, but I do have it. I do have them somewhere else. I've got a picture of those. Adding in some wood veneer just to get that in. And then I kind of like this, that it was all the colors here. And then the 23 here is 2 different colors from one of the puffy sets that was multicolored. And then on this page, I added wood veneer next to the stars. And sometimes my wood veneer goes on the outside. Sometimes it goes in on the inside. Really probably better on the outside because otherwise the pockets get raised too much and the photos will fall out in general. That's why I usually like to put the bigger, thicker stuff on the outside. I don't mind it in my book, but I usually like it on the outside. And then this was a picture of my boyfriend. Doesn't really cook. I don't know how he got to be 59 years old and doesn't cook very much, but he really doesn't. So I ran some freezer meals over to him and a whole bunch of cookies because the poor man wasn't going to get any cookies like he thought he was going to. So I did that day and got that all documented, all the stuff that I'd done that day. The next day was Christmas Eve. This is my sister and my brother-in-law, and I spent the day or the afternoon and evening with them. It was very low key this year because it was only the 3 of us. My mom didn't come home from Arizona. My brother lives a couple hours away from us. And so I used a little black puffy 24 here from a set from a couple years ago, because I didn't want the number to take too much focus off of all the beautiful color in these photos. So I just did that. I backed it on a piece of heart paper because I love these two. This was one of my favorite days. One of my favorite things that we did. This light presentation was like magic. It was beautiful to begin with. My sister lives in a small town of about 2,000 or 3,000 people. They still have a town square, and all the buildings around the town square were lit up with Christmas lights. I think, yeah, I've got one here because this is all kind of the same thing. So they're all lit with Christmas lights, and then on the hour for about 15 or 20 minutes, they sync it to Christmas music. They sync all the lights to Christmas music, and they blink on and off to the music. It was amazing. And we actually went back last Thursday night. Yeah, last Thursday. I took my boyfriend back there because he missed it and I wanted him to be able to see it. So lots of just journaling about what we did on that day. We made appetizers. I think I said had those. This is a picture of me. This is my sister and brother-in-law. I'm like, oh, I have to take a picture of us. Rummy Cub is our favorite game to play right now. Rummy Cube, I'm sorry. And we've played it a lot. We played it yesterday when we were celebrating with them. And so I said, wait, we have to take a picture of us. I mean, we had such a low key, Christmas Eve that they're wearing Christmas sweatshirts. I had actually a long sweatshirt that I have on today. We were super comfortable. And then I had, to celebrate, my favorite wine is Silver Oak Cabernet, but it's on the spendy side, so I don't have it very often, but it was Christmas Eve. I had a great year at work this year, just a great year in general, but a really great year at work. And so I decided to celebrate with them because, boy, my sister and brother-in-law had my back in 2020, which was a really tough year if you were a massage therapist, as you can imagine. So then this is a 6x8 page that I did that I struggled a little bit with this one to make this feel right. And what ultimately ended up happening is I needed 2 layers of paper here, and it worked out much better. So Christmas Wonder, this is this building was just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And then just part of one of those photo frames from the Ellie Studio pack. And then again, just doing some layering with the die cuts and puffies here. And at one point I had the lighter green behind here, didn't love it. And at the last minute before I was all done, ripped the photo off of that and put it on this darker green, and it totally changed the layout. The layout was okay, or really, this is 3 pages long, but this layout together was okay. When I did that, it changed it and became one of my favorites then. All right, so then on the back side of this, it's now Christmas Day. I put in a photo of my tree because I didn't have a photo of my main tree. And this is what I said about it's hard to take background pictures. I mean, I could have taken pictures off the wall and stuff like that, but that's not real. I mean, this is what it really looks like. So I just did it at night so you could really pick up on the really pretty bokeh and, you know, the tiny little twinkle lights and that kind of stuff. So this is 25th is from a die cut pack from the photo play Not a Creature Was Stirring. This is an Ellis Studio sticker, as is this, and then a 6x8 piece of paper, or 6x8.5, I think is what it really is, from one of the photo or one of the paper collections. I think this is from this year. And then some of the puffy hearts. And then I had to get tricky because I had a lot of photos here, but I didn't want even more page protectors in here. Plus, I've said I like it to be interactive, so I made some flip ups here because, again, I didn't have any. So there's 3 of these in this 4x4 up page protector. So close up of my tree and 3 of my favorite ornaments that are really near and dear to my heart with a little die cut and puffy. And then some details about the tree underneath and the ornaments there, little bits of and pieces about that. The die cut from this year's die cut pack, another sticker. And so that's just kind of more tree centered here. This is really the part that talks about Christmas Day. And then this is an amazing if I do say so myself. It was scrambled eggs made with asparagus, ham, dill, little bit of garlic, and goat cheese, and they were out of this world. So I have made some of that since. And then here, my dad always used to have a Christmas cookie even before breakfast on Christmas Day, and I have continued that tradition. I call it my appetizer. So I most often document it and put it up. This one is not a spectacular looking cookie, but it is what it is. It was delicious. That was the most important part, right? In the flip up, by the way, here, both of well, this one you can see the washi. This one, it's all hidden. So I did it a couple of different ways. Anyways, so I don't mind sticking stuff onto my photographs. First of all, I have them all digitally saved. So if something would happen to the photo, I could, just redo this. More importantly, it's just a photo of a Christmas cookie. It's not that big of a deal. I take this photo almost every year. So then some stickers from Ellie's Studio and a gingerbread man from Ellie's Studio as well. This Let It Snow picture, the whole reason behind this really was to get my tree and my nails, because I had done my Christmas nails by that time, and they were white with Christmas lights on them, and added just a little sticker, mug stickers in here. And honestly, when I first did these pages, you guys did not love those little mug stickers on there at first. And now that I'm looking at it, I don't know, what is this? Like 7 days later, I really like them. So sometimes if you think it's not your favorite page, wait around for a little bit. It may become a little bit more favorite that way. All right. So there's that. Then I'm going to flip this over. Here's another flip up. So 3 of them again. And then this one is a little bit of, this is about the taco ring that I made. I was supposed to take it to my boyfriend's family's house, and we didn't go. So then I just made it, took half to him, and I ate on it all week long. So then adding in this special delivery tag for December 25th, that's part of that tag set that I used. So I got another one in here, which is lovely. And then just little pictures about what was going on. These are the 2 cats. So here's Linus, my male cat. He's hard to see on my floor because he blends in. And this is that sassy Lucy that is always yelling in my videos. And then I did another page separator because I didn't think I was going to like these 2 pages together. And this one I used that same transparency with the sparkly snowflakes on it. And then this is a house sticker from the Not a Creature Was Stirring collection with the doilies again, and then a little celebrate, because this was all going on at my house. I stayed home on Christmas Day. So I thought that was significant. And then when you turn it over, again, like I said before, I like to usually back to back a doily and then do something on top of that. This is another house one with a little coffee cup and then a wonderful sign, because this was the day after Christmas, and it was this pages, and it was pajamas all day. I declared it a pajama day. I never got out of my, well, I shouldn't say that. I think I put a different pair of pajamas on because my sleeping pajamas are a little bit cooler than what I would wear during the day because I'm under a lot of blankets at night. So anyway, picture of me watching Hallmark movies. I did do some laundry that day. Here's a pajamas all day sticker from that Let's Stay Home collection from Pink Fresh. And then an Ellie's Studio wood, a little bit more of wood here. This is a filler card. Or no, I'm sorry, that's not a filler card. That's part of the pattern paper that I just cut and matched to the 3x4, and then the card here. And I think they do have a filler card like this that I haven't used yet, with just white on the bottom here, so you can do a little bit of journaling, but I didn't want to do any journaling, so I just cut the paper there. The 27th, and I need just another little sip here. We're getting close. Is documenting of, this is the one that I did with my granddaughter. So if you want to at least see my granddaughter's hands and a little bit of her curly hair and bows, this we did. And it was a fast page because there's 4 photos here of the gifts from my clients. And then I have this in here. This is hard to get out because there's so much in here, but behind here is a 3x4 card, And then I'll document all the gifts on there. And I just put a little tab that came with the Ellie Studio kit on there. I stapled it in, and there's a pull on it so that I know there's something behind there. Now, it's actually a good thing not to have that out and about for everybody to see, because confidentiality would say I don't want everybody knowing the names of my clients. Now, they tend to go by first names, but I usually do like their first name and then their initial, so I know who it is. And then these 3 tags here are from gifts from my clients. So if I have a gift tag on them like this, I usually just stick it in the book and I just put it in the binder ring, and then I'll put that pine cone one in here as well when that's done. Day 28 is, oh, and by the way, all I did really here was a couple of a puffy star and a puffy dot that M number 3 liked. So we did that, and then the date sticker, and then the under the tree label sticker there. So that was as simple as that was. There's a lot going on in those photos, and what's in the photos is what's important there. That and the journaling here. Day number 28. This is, I spent day number 28 and then part of day number 29 with my granddaughter. But because I don't always adhere to, it has to be exactly the dates. Everything is documented under day number 28 here. So a filler card that says, these are my favorite moments. These are the ones I'll treasure most. And these moments make the best memories, which is from a cut apart actually from the Sienna collection, which was a 12 by 12 collection that Ellie Studio did at one point. And I just thought, I pulled it from I remembered having like something sweet about memories in my 3x4 card. So I went into my regular 3x4 card storage, grabbed it, put this just scrap of paper across it to bring in the colors I've been using, and then pulled in a little label sticker, a little snowflake, an acrylic snowflake, puffy heart, and puffy dots again, because she was all about the puffy stuff when we were doing this. And then a picture of the 2 of us together that I love that photo of the 2 of us. She's such a happy, sweet, smiley girl, but she's also very fiercely independent, which means she'll whack you if you don't behave yourself around her. So anyway, we went to the library, so I documented that. And then on the back side here, I used another one of these snowflakes because it had snowed a little bit that day. And so we did that. We had a tea party. She wanted to do a tea party with me. She has a real China tea set, so we documented that. And again, a label, some puffies again, because that will remind me of her. And then a cup sticker. And then here's where the journaling finally comes in. A big journaling card. It says over because on the back, I have more journaling, and I just added a little heart. You can see the next card, the next 4x6 card on the next page has the same thing going on here, more journaling on the back, and then here's where I use that second banner. So I decorate the backs of the cards too if I can keep them pretty flat. So that goes in. Here is where she helped me do my YouTube video for the day 27, and then we did a little snowman craft together. So I did that, and she's lucky because she has a grandma who has a big paper supply, right? So we had good times. Some more dots again, reminding me of her. So sometimes I put in little things that may not be significant to everybody else, especially since I've used the dots and hearts throughout this, but the dots will remind me of her and this day when we did this. So that's significant there. Day number 29 was a fairly relaxed day. It was the day that my boyfriend and I, well, actually we saw each other on the night of, on the night of the 29th. So this is right. So documented, we opened our Christmas presents from each other finally. So documented that he gave me a really beautiful sweater in what he knows to be my favorite color, which is teal, and a gift certificate to my favorite nail salon. Added in, so today I realized that I had all my die cut hearts left. I hadn't used them, so I used them on this day, and then added in, well actually I think I started out with these present die cuts and then added those in, plus this little fave piece, because I'm like, I need to use these up. They're so usable, but I think I was all about the puffies this year, so I kept doing that. Here's some, the date here is in puffy stickers. So I always put the number somewhere, and then I also date it too. I usually try to date it on my usually dated on my journaling card in case it would ever get separated. And then this is a part of my Christmas present from my grandkids was a mug that says, "I'm a grandma, what's your superpower?" It's because my daughter-in-law always tells me that I'm like Superwoman and have superpowers because I will take all 4 of the kids out at the same time, which even they don't do. I mean, if they're together, they will do it, but they don't usually do that on their own. This envelope contains a really special letter from my stepson and daughter-in-law that I wanted to make sure I documented. So that's what this is all about. I cut the envelope on my Cricut and then added this little heart decal on the back, these little houses, and this love this sticker. And right now it's being held together with paper clips. I was going to use, I actually have like the string ties that you can tie envelopes together, but you know what? I think I'm just going to use the paper clips. I actually like the way it looks. So I think I'm just going to use that to keep this closed. So that I just stuck in the middle of the book because I got it on this day. And this mug I actually got on the day too, but I took a photo the next day, but I still just put it in here because that's when I got the mug, right? And again, I can see my nails, which I love that because they're playing again and going to get cut a little bit later. On day 30, I went to visit my great nephew and niece, and then this is their dad. I think I have a picture of their mom in here, but I have a lot more pictures of this that I'll document for them, so I'll put that in there. So they're both working with their presents. They do not live in the area, so I don't get to see them that often, so it was really fun to do that. It was fun to see them working together. Here's those green stickers again. This card behind here is not a full sheet of paper. It's just when I got the journaling for this, because this is all one day here, when I put this card down, then I added the strips of paper on the side and then the photo on top of them. So I think those strips are only maybe a ½ inch wide. So, you know, you can sneak that in if you want to. This is the day, that night when I took my boyfriend to see that light show in my sister's, the town that she lives in, which is about 25 minutes away from me or so. Added another filler card that says Jingle Bells, which we weren't singing, but there was music and they did play Jingle Bells. So that kind of ties in. And then this card was kind of cool because it has 4 quadrants that say, remember this. So I told a story about my great nephew, my great niece, taking my boyfriend to see the lights, and then the dinner that we had that night. So that worked out really well. This is one page, is the first page that we did together today. So day 31. So I have yet to journal. I'll do that when we're all done here. And we went to see West Side Story in a very, very empty theater, which we did on purpose. And then we went and picked up a pizza, went home, watched a whole heck of a lot of Longmire. And then at midnight had Prosecco together for a toast with my really beautiful champagne glasses. And then this card is a few years old, but I'm glad I finally got that in. And then brought, because this color really doesn't appear, it's here and there in the book, but not a lot. It's not the only time this appears, but it's here and there in this book. It's just not one of the primary colors. So I wanted to make sure I worked in some of the colors from this year's kit, used up this chipboard tag, some more puffies, die cuts, and then some more of those little puffy dots. Chipboard here. This Good Times is from the die cuts from this year. Day 32 is New Year's Day. So this is the day that I got together with my sister and brother-in-law. And my boyfriend. I forgot to get a picture of the 4 of us together. So I'm going to have to keep that in my memory. I took a picture of my beer and us playing Rummy Cube, but didn't get a picture of the 4 of us. This is a printable from Ellie's studio. And then the journaling cards will have space to journal here. Adding in, I wanted to get in, because this would have been very largely black and white, so I wanted to make sure I got in the colors that I had used this year. There's no pink on this, but I've got the red and the blue and the green in here so that it represents this year. And then we come to the end of the book. So bonus day is the Christmas cards that I want to keep will go in between here. Like I said, I'm not sure if they'll all be in page protectors or punched or whatever, but it's sitting here waiting. This is a card that I've taken down most of my Christmas except for my 3 trees and the nativity. So this will sit here I've got cards from my mom, my boyfriend, good friend, another card from a client that's really beautiful that I want to keep. They'll all be in here somewhere because I saved those from year to year. So my book will get chunkier yet. I'm not sure though whether I'll punch the cards or whether I will just put them in page protectors. We'll see. And maybe some of both. And then this one is so pretty. That's why I kind of put this one in the page protector, that I want to be able to see this. It's just the front of it that I wouldn't see otherwise. And this back are so pretty. And then they sit actually pretty nicely across from the last day bonus layout that we did, which is the picture of my Christmas cards. I have to obviously journal here. No, I didn't put a number on here. And now that I think about it, I probably will do that as day 33. I'll probably just pop it up in here. As a matter of fact, looking to see, can I do it with this? Let's just pop it on here now since I'm thinking about it, although I might not like this red here. So I don't always need to do like 33 because this isn't really day 33, but it is the 33rd sort of story here. Threes here. Hold on a second. I need something that's more red, not that color. So let me see if I can find red. That's hot pink. I think my problem is I don't have red, if I remember correctly. So I have red stickers. Let me just verify that quick. Oh, I do have this red and pink though. So let's, and I have 33 here. This is what we're going to use because I do have pink in here. So this will be perfect. So we'll just get that in there. And that will be story number 33. See, still scrapbooking, you guys, and I thought I was done, right? Okay, so then just a little bit of journaling here, and then we're done. And then the very back and last page, as I explained a little bit earlier when we did this layout, is sometimes this ends up on my back cover. I'm not probably going to decorate my covers here. I could come in with some snowflakes because I think I have, or doilies. I could do that. I think I have some snowflakes in that, like flat snowflakes. I'm looking to see, because I thought I did, but maybe I've actually used those. Maybe I only have the, I think I do. I only have dimensional snowflakes left. But otherwise, you know, I could do that. I could also cut some on my Cricut if I really wanted to. Like I could cut 2 big snowflakes. We'll see. I think it's fine as it is. I don't always feel, okay, you guys, I have to delete a comment here. Okay, anyway, so I think I'll just leave this cover blank, but I went in, this December calendar came with my Ellie Studio kit this year. And then, but there are places you can get them to print on the internet. You just print them 6x8. So I just filled in things that I did on the days, just as a general reminder of what Christmas looked like. Added in some puffy stars, a little banner here. And this banner was printed on. So that is it, you guys. It's done. December daily is complete. So thank you guys. Obviously, I have a few small little things to do, filling in the couple little pieces here and there. But other than that, that is it. So thank you guys for joining me so much on this journey, for all of your kind comments, not just now and about the December daily, but all year long. I really enjoy doing this project. I've said that over and over again. So thank you so much, you guys. Oh, thanks, Moira. It's fun to see it all together when I do this, when I go back. And then I do look at my December dailies, not all year long, but definitely I will usually do it before the before I start the process, or at some point early on in the Christmas season, I'll look at them. My boyfriend hasn't seen any of this yet either. We were talking about it, and we were going to do it on New Year's Eve, but I think we got so involved in Longmire, we ended up not looking at them. So I think that's something that we'll do together yet too. I said that, and he hasn't seen like really any of the 12 by 12 layouts as well that I did all year that you guys have all seen of the two of us. So anyway, but again, thanks so much. Gosh, I don't know what to say. Another year in the book, right? Year number 15. I'm ready for year number 16. So sometimes by the time I'm done with this, I'm tired of it. Here I was not. I was enjoying the process a lot. So, but I'm glad it's, in the book. So, all right, you guys, take care. Have a great rest of your day. I'm going to go take a big giant drink of water because now I think I've been talking for 2.5 hours, which is a lot, even for me. So take care, everybody. Bye-bye.